What were the highlights of the Red Sox 2023 draft? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. The MLB Draft is officially wrapped up for 2023. The official draft finished up yesterday, right before the All-Star break, and I think most people know just how good the Red Sox #1 draft pick could be in Kyle Teel. If you do not, there is a video on my channel breaking down the Red Sox #1 pick, but outside of him, what are the highlights of this year's draft? Well, that's what we're going to try and figure out today, because today what we are going to do is we're going to break down 4 players from this year's draft that I find really intriguing, and I want you guys to also let me know, out of the 20 rounds of this year's draft and the 22 picks the Red Sox had, who do you find most intriguing out of this draft class? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to break down my 4 intriguing players. We're going to talk about who they are, how they play, and what their impact on the Boston Red Sox could possibly look like, and we're going to talk about the draft overall and what I thought the Red Sox did in this draft and why I think it was smart. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Before we start breaking down the actual picks, let's just get this out of the way now so I don't have to keep saying it in the comments. Yes, the Boston Red Sox did draft more high school shortstops. No, it's not because the Boston Red Sox need more middle infield depth. No, it's not because they think all of these guys are going to be all-star, superstar shortstops. It's because of when you were little, right? When going back to Little League, high school, Cal Ripken, whatever you played at the highest level at, there were always roles for certain players, right? The fastest kid was always your center fielder. The smallest kid, the kid with the weakest arm, the grittiest kid always played second base. The biggest kid was always first base, right? There were always rules assigned to certain skill sets when you were playing Little League. It's the same type of concept when you're the Red Sox drafting high school players, right? The best all-around athlete was always at shortstop. Now, maybe they didn't excel in every single way, but they were always the most athletic. They were always probably your best overall player. It's the same exact thing. The Red Sox aren't drafting in terms of the position when it comes to high school players unless you're very specialized, right? Unless you're only pitch, unless you only catch, unless you only play third base. Outside of that, you are going to draft the most athletic person in the draft available, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a high school shortstop. So the Red Sox aren't drafting shortstops, they're drafting the athletes that happen to play shortstop, right? It's more likely than not that a lot of these guys aren't going to be shortstops in the big leagues. So let's just get that out of the way now. So now that that's out of the way, let's dive into the 4 players that I really like from this year's draft. Again, outside of Kyle Teel. The first player I want to highlight is the 2nd overall pick for the Boston Red Sox, Zanzanatello. Zanzanatello is a high school shortstop out of Missouri who really started to shoot up prospect rankings after absolutely killing it with the under 18 Team USA team. With that team, he hit .420 with a home run, 2 doubles, and 8 RBIs in 8 games. He also performed really well in the draft showcase, and that really brought his stock up to the point where he was the 52nd highest ranked prospect in the overall draft according to MLB Pipeline. Nazan has a really good sense of the strike zone. He is selective in the pitches he attacks. Nazan already has really great bat speed, and a lot of scouts believe that with his 6'2" frame as he matures, he's going to add muscle mass and really gain a lot of natural power. Scouts also really like Nazan's 5 tools overall, right? His contact is pretty good, although there are some questions with his overall contact ability. They do like his power potential, they like his speed potential, and they like his defensive potential. So there's a lot of potential here with Nazan with the 2nd pick for the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox have said they are planning on starting Nazan's career by playing him at both shortstop and center field, so it's looking like he may be a more multi-positional type prospect as he moves through the rankings. So his definite defensive position is sort of a question mark right now, but his offensive tool is definitely something that scouts really love. In fact, MLB Pipeline even thinks he could possibly be a guy who at the major league level could hit 25 plus home runs, be an above average defender, and have above average speed. So there's a lot to really like about the Red Sox 2nd round pick, and that's why he's the first guy highlighted in this video. Outside of that, the 2nd guy I want to talk about is Matt Duffy. He was the first pitcher the Red Sox selected selected in this year's draft. He was selected in the 4th round. Duffy is a 21-year-old college pitcher coming out of Canada. He's not a guy who's going to blow you away velo-wise. Duffy's current velo sits somewhere in the low 90s, while sometimes touching mid-90s, between 94 and 95. But what scouts really like about Duffy's game is his delivery, right? He's got that sort of funky 3/4 slot with his release, and it's really tricky for hitters to catch up to, and it's something that really allowed him to be successful at the collegiate level. And because he doesn't have a ton of velocity, he has to rely a lot on his command, which is really great. In his 3 years of college ball, he walked just 59 total batters and struck out 237. He did struggle a bit last year, posting a 4.35 ERA in his 3rd year in college, but in the Cape League this year, he had just a 1.88 ERA in 3 starts. A very intriguing pitching option for the Boston Red Sox, and again, the highest drafted pitching prospect for the Red Sox in the 2023 draft. The third guy I want to talk about in this video is Justin Riemer, a 21-year-old, again, college prospect out of Virginia who was drafted in the 4th round with one of the compensation picks from losing Nate and Xander. Justin is a massive contact type player. According to the draft broadcast, he swung and missed at just 3% of the 700 swings he had against fastballs in college. That is an insanely low number. This dude is known for his contact ability. He's also known for his command of the strike zone. He constantly walks more times than he strikes out, and in college, he struck out just 14 times while walking 46 total times. He finishes 3 years in college with a 328 average, an incredible 476 on base percentage, and a 492 slug for a 968 OPS. No, he's not a big power type prospect, only hitting 5 home runs in 3 years, but he gets on base a ton. Literally almost half the time throughout his collegiate career, Justin was on base at that 478 on base percentage. That's absolutely insane. Scouts aren't entirely sure where Justin will end up in terms of defense, right? He was listed as a shortstop, but played most of his collegiate career at second base. He himself said he liked playing both second base and shortstop, but this is a guy who could stick in terms of middle infielders. This is also a guy who could move out to a corner outfield type role, but either way, what I really love about Justin is his contact ability, right? That is a really impressive, not only ability to put the bat to the ball, but also command the strike zone. For a guy who's just 21 years old, having walked a significantly more times than he has struck out is really impressive to me, which is why he's the 3rd prospect listed on my most intriguing prospect list. I also put Justin on here because his bat to ball skills are so advanced. There is a decent possibility that, combine that with the fact that he is a college level athlete, that he could move up the Red Sox farm system fairly quickly here. I think his bat to ball skills will play really well in the low A, high A region, so we could see Justin make his way to double A a bit faster than some of these other prospects because, again, he has that advanced hit tool. Now, the last prospect I want to highlight in this video from the Red Sox 2023 draft is a guy by the name of Trenner ODonnell. Now, Trenner is a 8th round draft pick for the Boston Red Sox and the 238th overall prospect drafted in this year's draft. O'Donnell is a college senior at 22 years old and is a big presence on the mound. He's currently sitting at 6'7" and 240 pounds. O'Donnell had a really impressive senior year with a 293 ERA over 92 innings. He struck out 97 while only walking 32. He, again, another guy who is really great command. He was also a big reason why Ball State won the MAC title and made their first NCAA tournament in 17 years. He's, again, not exactly a flamethrower, sitting right around 90 to 91 miles an hour on his fastball, but because O'Donnell is such a tall person, he gets a lot of great extension, which makes that fastball seem a lot faster than it actually is, and he gets a lot of swings and misses with his slider. So despite not being the fastest pitcher in all of college baseball, he still managed to be a really effective pitcher and was able to get a lot of swings and misses because of his extension and because of the movement on his slider. O'Donnell had also gone through his ups and downs in college, posting a bit of a higher ERA his junior year, so the fact that he was able to bounce back and have this great of a season his senior year speaks to the type of person O'Donnell is, and I really like that about a drafted prospect. Overall, in terms of this year's draft, the Boston Red Sox drafted 10 position players and 12 pitchers. Position players mainly came in the first half of the draft, while pitchers mainly came in the second half of the draft. One thing that I really like about this year's draft overall is that the Red Sox really focused on pitchers with command, not so much pitchers with velocity. And I think that's a really good thing, right? Because velocity can kind of be taught, especially at the minor league level. And as these guys get older, they put on muscle mass, they put on other things like that. They have a more strict training regimen, and velocity can be taught. If you don't believe me, take a look at what Shane Drohan has been able to do in the minor leagues. What's much more difficult to teach is being able to command your pitches, being able to be selective where you put pitches in the strike zone. So to me, I really love that draft strategy, right? Select guys who already have an idea as to how to command their pitches and teach them how to throw faster and throw harder and still maintain that command. I really like that approach. I also really love what the Red Sox did in the first couple rounds of this draft. I think they got some really intriguing prospects. And again, there were 20-ish rounds in this year's draft. The Red Sox got 2 compensation picks. They ended up with 22 total new prospects. So if you don't agree with my list of intriguing players, that is perfectly okay. Let me know in the comment section down below. 1, what did you think of these guys that I highlighted in this video? 2, is there anyone outside of these 4 guys that you're like, hey, I'm really intrigued by this prospect for this reason? Let me know all your thoughts on the Red Sox 2023 draft in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.